Hey guys, I'm going to do something different here today. I will be doing a deck tech for a deck that I have. It is one of my personal favorites because it actually has one of my favorite cards in all of Magic history, called Necrotic Ooze. Necrotic Ooze is 2 black. As long as Necrotic Ooze is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all creature cards in all graveyards. So basically any creature with a colon in the text box will be able to use by Necrotic Ooze's ability, and so you can imagine the numerous combos that come off of it. So one of the combos that I saw online, which I really did like, was Devoted Druid, which allows you to tap for 1 green mana, but you can also put a -1/-1 counter on it to untap Devoted Druid. So that allows you to actually tap for more green mana if you need so. Then you have Quillspike. You can remove a -1/-1 counter from a creature you control, and Quillspike gets +3/+3 on turn. So you can see the combo right here. Basically, you tap Devoted Druid, and then you remove the -1/-1 counter from Quillspike to allow Devoted Druid to tap again. So that is definitely a big combo, and if any of these 2 cards are in the graveyard, then Necrotic Ooze will definitely have that ability, and he will also get the pump ability as well. So you can make Necrotic Ooze basically infinitely big and just trample them over. Over here I have a couple cards with pretty good creature abilities. Everybody loves Griselbrand, especially for this ability right here. Pay 7 life to draw 7 cards. If Griselbrand is in the graveyard and Necrotic Ooze is on the battlefield, then obviously you can pay 7 life to draw 7 cards. That is a huge deal, and you don't even have to worry about his huge mana cost. Fauna Shaman is good. You can discard a creature card to just tutor for another card. Again, Necrotic Ooze's ability. Lotleth Troll is good. I just like the card overall. You can discard a creature card. This helps you get rid of cards in your hand to put in your graveyard. And also, the regenerate ability is also very cool. Pack Rat is actually a good card. I really love it because it helps out with discard cards decks really well. The 2/1 black discard card ability is actually really cool with Necrotic Ooze because you do actually get a clone of Necrotic Ooze and not Pack Rat. So if you have any, junk cards in your hand you don't need, you can discard a creature card and make a clone of Necrotic Ooze, and that works out really well. So it's a really fun card to have. Royal Assassin, always good for some removal. Hex Parasite is good for decks with planeswalkers, so you can just get rid of them, or even if you're playing like modular decks or affinity decks, you can get rid of some of the cards that way. Thornling is good. I just like it because it's a nice Swiss Army knife type of card where you can give it haste if necessary for your Necrotic Ooze. Trample, of course, is also good. Indestructible is always nice when it comes out because Necrotic Ooze is a huge target, and the +1/-1s are always gravy. Hermit Druid is a pretty old card. I like it because it just basically puts your entire library in the graveyard pretty quickly. So for those of you who are playing Modern, you cannot use this obviously, so you can take this out and substitute it for something else. Druid Redemption is pretty nice. If you pump up Necrotic Ooze pretty big using the Quillspike and the Devoted Druid ability, you can actually gain infinity life. Not really infinity, but you can gain a lot of life that way with Necrotic Ooze, and basically at that point most players will scoop. And then Trespassing Souleater is just an additional card that allows me to make Necrotic Ooze unblockable if absolutely necessary, so it's always just a nice thing to have. Over here, we have a couple cards that will actually help us search for our creatures. Tracker's Instincts takes the top 4 cards of your library, and you can choose a creature card from them and put the rest in your graveyard. So it helps out really well for both causes. You can look for Necrotic Ooze, and then in the meantime, you can also put a lot of your creature cards with abilities into your graveyard. Grisly Salvage, same thing, but it is top 5 cards, but you can also find a land card as well if you absolutely need the land. So Grisly Salvage is actually very great and is perfect for this deck. And then I have 2 Postmortem Lunges. In case your Necrotic Ooze does die, most likely it will, you can actually use this to surprise your people and your opponents, and if you have Thornling, if you got anything that can give it haste, just use this. This also gives it haste as well, and just trample over them. So it is a very dangerous card, especially when you have Necrotic Oozes in your graveyard. I also have one Buried Alive. Buried Alive is really good because it just puts any 3 cards, and so if you know, this is more of like a combo piece. Not that many people like this card because it just makes games pretty boring, so I just put one of this, but you can definitely search for Necrotic Ooze, a Griselbrand, you know, any card that you basically want Necrotic Ooze to have. For removal, I just added 4 Doomblades. Doomblades are just great. You can replace these with Go for the Throat if you're playing against, you know, color heavy, but if you're playing against a black deck, those are good, and you can replace this with anything you want for your sideboard. And then for lands, not really much of a land guy, but I don't really like to spend much money on lands, but we got 2 Golgari Guildgates. We have 2 Temple of Maladies. These are just cards that I pulled from boosters, so I just put them in. The Scrylands are pretty good. I like the Scrylands. So they do help out with your mana fixing, and I just like them, especially for a deck like this. And then the rest are just swamps and forests. So this is definitely a deck where you can tweak on your own. It doesn't have to follow, you don't have to follow my deck list specifically, but you know, especially for any creatures that you might enjoy that have cool abilities that you like, you can definitely substitute those in. It doesn't even have to be the same color as green and black, so if you're pretty risky, you can actually put in any creature you like that has a cool ability. So I hope you guys like it. Just comment on below, see what you guys think, share any combos that you guys might have, and definitely we can test it out.